So good day everyone, good day world. Today we are going to discuss the two theories of a child, and these are the Erik Erikson's theory, cognitive development of a child, and Sigmund Freud of child development. So first things first, my name is Janwa G. Barbas, and on my right side is
I'm Delia.
and on my
I'm
left
Phoebe.
side. Okay, so let us start.
So we are now at the Sigmund Freud's 5 stages of psychosexual development. So Freud proposed that personality development in childhood takes place during 5 psychosexual stages, which are the oral, anatical, anal, phallic, latency, and genital stages. During each stage, sexual energy or libido is expressed in different ways and through different parts of the body. So the first stage of psychosexual development is the oral stage, birth to 1 year. In the first stage of psychosexual development, the libido is centered in the baby's mouth. During the oral stages, the baby gets much satisfaction from putting all sorts of things in its mouth to satisfy the libido and thus it demands, which at this stage in life are oral or mouth oriented. So, do you know what?
Yes.
Any insights about this stage?
From these stages of development of a child, according to Sigmund Freud, starts where kaning bata from this
Birth to 1 year.
birth to 1 year is kaning like ganahan pa siya curious sa mga things, magkikip pa siya mga toys na like ganahan pa siya mga anak
Lay, oh, sakto.
like mga sucking, biting, and breastfeeding in anak.
So, Freud said oral stimulation could lead to an oral fixation in later life. We see oral personalities all around us, such as smokers, nail biters, finger chewers, and thumb suckers. Oral personalities engage in such oral behaviors, particularly when under stress. So the next stage is about anal stage, 1 to 3 years. During the anal stage of psychosexual development, the libido becomes focused on the anus, and the child derives great pleasure from defecating. The child is now fully aware that they are a person in their own right and that their wishes can bring them into conflict with the demands of the outside world. For example, their ego has developed. Freud believed that this type of conflict tends to come to a head in potty training, in which adults impose restrictions on when and where the child can depart. So, do you know what? Any insights, Febby?
So in this stage, anal stage, psychosocial, sexual development of a child is where the potty training is like ang bata ani nga mga stages or ano mga edara is magkaton og use of toilets or ginagmay mga pots.
Ginagmay na spots na ito. And more care ba? So, we are in the next stage, which is phallic stage. This is 3 to 6 years. In this stage, spanning the age of 3 to 6 years, or in the infant's libido, desire centers upon their genitalia as their erogenous zone. The child becomes aware of the anatomical sex differences, which sets in motion the conflict between erotic attraction, resentment, rivalry, jealousy, and fear, which Freud called the Oedipus complex in boys and Electra complex in girls. So, Genoa.
Okay, from this stage of psychosexual development of a child, where from these stages, he or she knows or aware na siya sa iyang private parts. Like for example, pagkatao, lucky siya because of his anak.
Yahang koan. Yes.
Yes, yeah. The feelings and emotions ani na feel na niya nga na siya insecurity. Like feel niya nga more na siya mo rivalry na siya murag na murag musukol na siya in a stage.
So yeah.
Kasi mga feeling po nga murag ma-love na po.
We are now at latency stage or 6 years to puberty. The latency stage is the fourth stage of psychosexual development spanning the period of 6 years to puberty. During this stage, the libido is dormant and no further psychosexual development takes place. Latent means hidden. Freud thought that most sexual impulses are repressed during the latent stage and sexual energy can be sublimated towards schoolwork, hobbies, and friendships. Much of the child's energy is channeled to developing new skills and acquiring new knowledge, and play becomes largely confined to other children of the same gender. Yeah.
In this another stage of development of psychosexual child is from the word latent means hidden. I think the hidden stage there is like their feelings or emotions sa opposite sex nila. They're na sila feeling maibog but they are just try to engage sa ilang same sex like sabay dinulaan bayar po sila matula.
Then,
Sa laki
Yes,
So-
yes, tell me.
then, ano nga stages, more on, and ang may tabuan niyo is more on, children spend more time and interact mostly with the same sex.
yes na
We are now at the genital stage or puberty to adult. The genital stage is the last stage of Freud's psychosexual theory. It is time of adolescent sexual experimentation, the successful resolution of which is settling down in a loving one-to-one relationship with another person in our 20s. So, like, murag katang magminyo na ni
uyab
mag-settled na. Sexual instinct is directed to heterosexual pleasure. When we say heterosexual, di ba opposite sex nila? Rather than pleasure like during the phallic stage. For Freud, the proper outlet of the sexual instinct in adults was through heterosexual intercourse. Fixation and conflict may prevent this with the consequence that sexual perversions may develop. For example, fixation at the oral stage may result in person gaining sexual pleasure primarily from kissing and oral sex rather than sexual intercourse. Yes, Genoa.
sensor na yung ito ni
Yeah.
so di na natin
Gamay na ito,
Specify ba?
hindi na natin.
it's about na say feeling naif like for example ako na ako'y feeling sa babae where if sa kang babae makita og something private parts like murag kaanuhon yun mo na so na feeling po ang babae po na so itong pangatan nitong girls sa
Yes, Fabi.
Mukha anak ko, more of something. At yung sa uban, naiuban nga dili po sila matintal. Pero kung nakauban matintal, man po.
So the first stage of Erik Erikson's theory is about trust versus mistrust, infancy from birth to 18 months. So in this theory, in Erik Erikson's theory of psychosocial development, this stage begins at birth, continues to approximately 18 months of age. During this stage, the infant is uncertain about the world in which they live, looks towards their primary caregiver for stability and consistency of care. So, Phoebe, what can you say about this theory?
Okay. Infancy, from birth to 12 months, or trust versus mistrust.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is the most, infancy is the most fundamental
Yes.
stage in life.
Yes.
Then, I'll give you some example. One example.
Yeah, much better.
Okay, so like for example, nihilak daw ang usa ka bata, and then wala ta kabalo kung unsa atong buhaton. Yan na ba, wala ta kabalo sa atong buhaton. So kung mahilak ang bata, naman siya na siya daghang mga reason no, wala ta kabalo.
Yes.
So mga tawag example kung anong nihilak daw siya, usara like for example digutom siya, na. So ang atong buhaton ana kay ato siyang padidiyon or ina sa iyang mama so that kuan siya mahilom, or kung mahilom na siya, it means nga gigutom gyud di ay ang bata, so mao na iyang need na gikinahanglan.
May nature.
Need na okay na. So correct.
So let's move on to the second stage of Erik Erikson's theory. So the second stage is about autonomy versus shame and doubt. In this theory, autonomy versus shame and doubt is the second stage of Erik Erikson's stages of psychosocial development. This stage occurs between the ages of 18 months to approximately 3 years. So according to Erikson, children at this stage are focused on developing a sense of personal control over physical skills and a sense of independence. So, Genoa, what can you say about this theory?
So about this theory of Erik Erikson's second stage of development of a child is this stages is somewhat still learning some of the things around him or her, like napa siya yung mga curiosity about the things, mga stages. I remember when I was as I was 3 years old, nang kanan pa kong discover sa mga things of curious pa ko sa mga dulaan bitaw ako pang like kung ni what if ako ning gubon unsay may tabuan ni like min anak bitaw, so napa ko sa stage nga akong
okay idea. Mga to kong example about
Go.
any early childhood, the second stages of Erik Erikson. So like for example, give example. Layo sa kabata, then kanang layhan gani siya nga mo layhan siya nga mo drawing. Layhan siya mo drawing, then usa anak niya nga need niyang anohon is di ba kuan man jud ang bata no, kanang bisag sa tawagan. Kay bata pa man siya, kung unsa yang layhan, mao na yang buhaton, di ba?
Yes.
Nana. So, mao to ang parents dapat jud ilahang kana ganing i-allow ang ilahang mga bata para ma-confident gani na ilahang anak kung unsa pa ilahang buhaton.
Yeah.
Nga.
na ko another point, another insight pang dugang lang. Ani nga stages second stage kani autonomy
Versus shame and doubt.
versus shame and doubt. Kabantay mo anang bata kung makasala like mohilak yun siya. Kuya ko mohilak. So somewhat like iyahang shame and doubt murag biha siguro nag-build up like maulaw na siya pagkadako niya tungod kay buwatan ito lang. So aware na siya anang mabutang dili niya kuwaton.
Correct.
Yeah. So yeah, more na.
Okay, so let's move on to the third stage of Erik Erikson's theory. It is initiative versus guilt. In this theory, guilt is the third stage of Erik Erikson's theory of psychosocial development. During this initiative versus guilt stage, children assert themselves more frequently through directing play and other social interaction. These are particularly lively, rapid developing years in a child's life. So let's move on. We are now in the fourth stage of Erik Erikson's theory. This is industry versus inferiority. In this psychosocial theory, it occurs during childhood between the ages of 5 and 12. Children at the stage where they will be learning to read and write, to do sums, to do things on their own, teachers begin to take an important role in the child's life as they teach the child special skills. So, diri na mo sulod ang teacher. So, it is at this stage that the child's peer group will gain greater significance and will become a major source of the child's self-esteem. The child now feels need to win approval by demonstrating specific competencies that are valued by society and begin to develop a sense of pride in their accomplishment. So, we are now in the fifth stage of Erik Erikson's theory. This versus identity versus role confusion. In this fifth stage of psychosocial development, it occurs during adolescence from about 12 to 18 years. During this stage, adolescents search for a sense of self and personal identity through an intense exploration of personal values, beliefs, and goals. During adolescence, the transition from childhood to adulthood is more important. Children are becoming more independent and begin to look at the future in terms of career, relationships, families, housing, and many others. The individual wants to belong to society and fit in. So, what can you say about this, baby?
Okay. Ano nga, stage diri na namusulat to. Makapangutan na kasi mong kagalingan mo. Who am I? Makapangutan na kasi mong makauna ko na ka nga. Kasi amin na kong buhaton. Para in the future, di na ka magkwento. Mo ka na-confuse na ganit ka kayo. Kung anak ka rin, oo, pagulong na sa adulthood, sakto yun na. Then, kasi ito, gano'n. Mo to siya, di na juga maka-realize mo. Maka-realize mo yun juga na mukhang sa mga kagalingan kung ano sa imong angay mo haton gano'n dapat. Kaya, siyempre na nakasa ate?
Identity versus role confusion. Stages. Yeah.
Stages of adolescent.
During condition.
Adolescent, oo.
Adolescent stage.
We are now in intimacy versus isolation. In this theory, intimacy versus isolation, this stage takes place during young adulthood between the ages of approximately 18 to 40 years old. During this stage, the major conflict centers on forming intimate and loving relationships with other people.
Like, ma-in-love na sila.
Yeah.
Yan na.
Diri na. Like, musulod na to diri itong mga, mga kaibuyan na. Like, serious relationships na. So during this stage, we begin to share ourselves more intimately with others. We explore relationships leading towards longer-term commitments, so serious na, with someone other than our family members. Successful completion of this stage can result to happy relationships and a sense of commitment, safety, and care within a relationship. So, avoiding intimacy and fearing commitment and relationships can lead to isolation, loneliness, depression. Ano rin ako nang mag-uul ako baka nang mahadlok na ako commitment.
Like, example, mabulagan, bitaw.
Oo,
Ah,
na-word
sila.
trauma na ba?
Mo biring napita nga stages kaya naman gawin forever na just
We're now in the seventh theory of Erik Erikson. So this is generativity versus stagnation. In this theory, this stage takes place during middle adulthood, ages 40 to 65 years old. Psychologically, it refers to making your mark on the world through creating or nurturing things that will outlast an individual. During middle age, individuals experience a need to create or nurture things that will outlast them, often having mentees or creating positive changes that will benefit other people. Yes, Freddy.
So, ani nga stage nga last na ni siya sa sa Erikson theory. Okay? So, second to the last. Okay. So, kani siya ani nga develop theory development niya siya. Dinilan na siya mga di ba gulang na ka. Then hindi na ka mag-recall sa mga kaagi. Ito mga pas ng mga kuan ng dalaga pa ka ina na.
Yeah.
Napaka sa nang bagong soul sa relationship
Yes,
na.
because
Oo.
yung body is hindi na makain.
Oo. Then anang time murag diha na kaga ga-recall na lang jud ka kay gulang naman ka. Di naman pud nimo mabalik to. So makaunaw na ka nga makaana siya sa iyang kaugalingon na kanang ganing dili gani siya nga magmahay nga nakaagi siya adto. Dapat jud di ay nga kuan live to the fullest. Nana ba?
Live life.
So that's all.
We're now at ego integrity versus despair. And this is the final stage of Erik Erikson's stage theory of psychosocial development. This stage begins at approximately age 65 and ends at death. It is during this time that we contemplate our accomplishments and can develop integrity if we see ourselves as leading a successful life. So individuals who reflect on their life and regret not achieving their goals will experience feelings of bitterness and despair. Yes, Genoa.
Yes, from this last stage of development of Erik Erikson's is where the person or the kaninga go lang sa from the ages of 65
Yeah.
65 years and above is yang tanamon yang self in the integrity sa ta na versus despair. So dito sa ego integrity is where aron siya content sa iyang kaugalingon or kaning mura bitaw di sa ingon nga despair siya or mag-goal yang una-unaon tong yang past nga nagian or katong yung mga achievements yung una-unaon yung mga mayong experience na nagyan kaysa iyahang kaysa versus kaysa kaning despair kaysa mag-una-una siya nga katong mga failures niya sa una this is bad.
So bali ang iyang una-unaon more siya mabalik yun na is mabalik siya sa past.
Yung una-una feel niya na productive siyang life. Okay, so thank you for listening, guys. Today, I am very thankful for this view. na-discuss ang Baka theory, Erikson, and Sigmund Freud theory of development of a child. Hope you guys like it and you understand and more learn about Baka theories. Then that's all and goodbye.